Hey, how are you doing, guys? How you doing? Hello, Acid Rain, Sven, Salman. Hey, Joe. Hey, Gabo, Michael. Hey, Tony. How you doing, Kangton? Rael, Diane, Chanley, Andy, Luke. How are you? Chandru, Sam. Thank you for joining. Hello, Andreas. Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. Hope you had really nice vacations, really nice time bonding with your family. Hello, Jeff. Very nice to see you guys here. Hey, Faisal. Hey, Alex. All right. All right, guys. So just give me 1 second. Something is just falling apart here. Okay. Now we are ready. So, all right. So we are we are kind of the same amount of people than usual. Yeah, actually, we kind of start around 30, 40 people, and we end with like 40, 50 people every day. I was actually hoping that maybe some of our Asian friends and a lot of Europeans can join on this new schedule. This new schedule, let me tell you about it. Well, this new schedule, it's more, it's gonna be at least for the summer because my kids they will be out of school this Friday, I think. So I'm just trying to make a few changes for the schedule because well, guys, you know how it works. Kids at home, so they will have a lot of activities and all that stuff. But anyways, I mean, I'm trying to be done for the day earlier so I can spend more time with my kids. And anyways, I mean, we usually look for plays before 11 in the morning. I'm sorry, yeah, before 11 in the morning for for the indices and for our break and retest. So this just makes sense, right? Like it's like, okay, well, we have enough time to look for our place inside of our trading time on the market, and then we have some more time just to see if something develops or if we are still managing a trade or whatever. So I just think that this schedule covers everything, and it's gonna be easier for most of the people, and we may have some more people again from Europe. I mean, I think this schedule it's a little bit better for them, just before going for dinner or something like that. And for our Asians friends, it's still midnight. It's still midnight, but I think they prefer this time like 1 or 2 hours later, right? Uh, so let's give it a try. Let's give it a try with this new schedule. See how it works, and if it works, it's gonna be it's gonna be great. If it doesn't work, well, we always can make changes. Just just on Fridays, guys, we do have a Traders Lab session with Jack. Usually, it's supposed to be done by this time, but Jack. I mean, Jack is always sharing a lot of stuff, and sometimes he goes beyond this time. So we may probably move it like 30 minutes on Friday, or we can just stay on this time, and if people wants to go watch the recording, that would be great. So Jack is always extending, yeah. Yeah, we all love Jack. I mean, when he's sharing, he's just throwing everything. He's never holding anything back. Uh, all right, guys. Okay, so Alex, Gabi, Patrick, and well, this is not Diana. This is Diana. Hi, Diana. Welcome. All right, so let's go to Apple. So today was a weird day. I'm sure you noticed this morning. I mean, we were having both indices like pushing strong to the upside, but most of the names were like, you know, uh, like this. Apple was dropping and dropping like seriously, right? Like I mean, it wasn't holding this 208. This was a key level on my 15-minute chart, and it went all the way to the other 205.37. This is another key level on my 15-minute chart, and I was actually looking for Apple to fill this gap. This gap is from, let me tell you, this gap is from Friday, yeah, Friday, May the 9th, and Monday. Yeah, this was. Do you remember? Like, I think 2 weekends ago, when Trump had this good news about China and all that stuff. So we got up, and I actually was like hoping that if Apple can feel this, but it didn't. It didn't just. But I wanted you to know or to notice where this yellow box was coming from. So all right. So the only thing that I saw here, and this is not according to our playbook. This is a different play, but I want you to notice here. So here, what we were having here on the indices. So here we were having a reaction on the previous day low for QQQ, and SPY pumping to the upside. So Apple wasn't not following the indices, but this is after this strong drop. This kind of recovery was expected, and what it did. So this was a very clean break and retest of this 5 minute opening range low. So it had displacement, it had this impulsive move to the downside. So this break and retest was very clear here. Again, this was not following anything on the indices, as you can see. I mean, the indices were actually like ripping heavily, hardly. So, but here, I mean, this Apple, Apple, I mean, I don't trust Apple because Apple is always doing its own thing without the indices. So we had this break and retest. So, assuming that we open a position on the next candle here, our risk was at the top of these candles here, and we were aiming to low of the day. This was a 1 to 2.14 risk reward ratio trade. And after these 2 3 impulsive moves to the upside, I mean, maybe you trim your position like half or 1/4 or 1/3 of your position here, and you should be closing your position here like on break even after this bounce. After this bounce here, 1 2 candles, we came to our entry point, and the indices were ripping. So there was no indication for this to have any continuation after this drop. So that was the only thing that I watched on that I watched on this Apple thing. Unless you were trying to to trade this, well, this is not pattern, but it's kind of trend. When we got this break and retest of the 1 minute opening range low. So as you know, I don't like to use the lows of the ranges for the bounce. That's kind of a reversal, or the top of the ranges for a rejection, right? So that those are more like reversals. So I didn't like this activity here just because, as I said, indices were going up and up and up and up, and Apple was not following. So I don't know. This is something that I didn't like. But this was the only opportunity here, kind of according to our playbook of like breaking the low of the ranges, retest, and then continuation. So this was kind of the only one. Anyone took an Apple trade today? Let me go to the chat. Bob. scary candles. They are not bad things on trading view. I'm gonna explain. Well, let me explain about that. Um, what time? Yeah, here. So because they are on trading view, they are on well, I have Webull, so I have Webull, so they are showing on Webull, and also I have Schwab for my long term portfolio. And I was explaining on the community. I actually, yeah, sent the phantom prints, that's how they are called. Are a type of dark pool print that occur on private exchanges. So where approximately half of all institutional trades take place. So this is kind of a dark pool thing. It's not a glitch. It's not a mistake. It's just a different kind of week. Usually, these candles are not shown during market hours, but this is exactly what happened. And can you see they are kind of like very much into key levels, at least on SPY, not so much on QQQ, but at least on SPY, they were kind of on key levels. So they are like something big happened on dark pool. That's it. I mean, nothing too relevant. Nothing too relevant to mention. That's just another kind of trading. Um, they are not on TradeStation. They are not on TradeStation. Well, I can see them on Webull. Well, TradingView, Webull, and Schwab. So that those are kind of my three different sources of data. So yeah, but, I mean, I don't know. It's Mina was telling a few sessions ago that most of the brokers take the same data, or the same data package from the Nasdaq, or from the actual stock market. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to explain this, but anyways, I mean, if anyone was in a trade, did you see that your contracts actually move something? Um, well, if someone can just share something about them, that would be great. But I was not on a trade, so I can't tell. All right. Well, that was all for Apple. Let's go to the next one. AMD. Right. So AMD, what did we have here? This was kind of awkward here. So we have this drop at the open. Then we consolidated between here, the 1 minute and the 5 minute opening range on the top of this. And then we broke here and we retested this 1 minute opening range low. I know this is not on our playbook because the indices were actually very high on the day. They were very high on the day. However, they were kind of consolidating here. So that's kind of a math formula, right? So if we have indices ripping or indices consolidating and a name looking weak, well, that's what we call relative weakness. If the indices are holding and our tech name is actually dropping, that's relative weakness, right? So the only opportunity that I saw here was this break and retest of this 1 minute opening range low. So let's say that you opened your trade here, your risk was the actual 1 minute opening range, and you were aiming, well, if you were aiming here, like this is kind of the low of the day. This was a 1 to 3.2 risk reward ratio trade. You can actually came here. I mean, it actually came all the way here. Um it consolidated around this 114.45. This is a multiple touches key level on the daily chart. Do you remember this? Let me show you this one. So this 114.45, it's a relevant key level here, right? Like a pivot low on the daily chart. Yeah, pivot low on the daily chart, multiple touches here. It was support, support, then it was resistance, resistance. Then we broke here and now it's working as support. So probably this is gonna go higher from here. So this was kind of the break and retest of this, right? All right, so this is the only play that I see. I know if you tell me like, oh, okay, Neto, but I mean, this was the opening price, or what happened with this retest here? Uh, well, I don't trust it. I don't trust it, and it didn't have any continuation here. Actually, so you will see on the Microsoft and Tesla trades that I'm gonna show you, but this is actually just, can you see here? Indices were pushing higher, indices were pushing higher, but here we were having lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So this is showing a lot of weakness. So when we break and retest here, this was a good sign of weakness here, right? These lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So all these sellers pushing down, pushing down, pushing down until they break this 1 minute opening range low, retest here, and then drop. Anyone took an AMD trade today? Chiflados, you, Alex, you. I just did a Tesla trade. In a moment, we are going to Tesla. So, all right. So that was the only thing that I saw on AMD. And look at this ugly price action, right? I mean, once it it hits this 5 minute opening range low, it just consolidates around this level, this 114.45 here, 114.45 here, and then it goes higher again, and let's see what happens later in the day. But this is the only actually nice play that I saw on AMD today. All right, let's go to the next one. Amazon. um, Amazon was actually going higher and higher and higher and higher, but I never got like a good entry point here. I was looking for Amazon after once, let me show you. Once it opened, once it opened inside of this gap, that's between, this is the gap, this is the whatever is left from this gap up on the weekend that we had the China deal for tariffs and all that stuff. Once we open inside of this, I was actually expecting to, like to fill the gap, but no. This actually opened nicely. And the other thing is this white box. This white box, as you can see, it has been a very active area here. Resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. Then we broke, and now it's working as support here. So this area here, I was paying attention to this, and can you see where it bounced? Can you see where it bounced? Exactly to the T here. Exactly to the T here. So Amazon has a lot of strength to the upside on the open, and I draw this order block here. This is not a strong order block because it actually didn't move the price too much, but it was on the previous day low, so it was kind of, like some sort of confluence here, and we never retested this key level, and even if we did, I mean, it didn't, it's not actually closing like nicely here. Well, probably it is. If we have here and we are looking, yeah, well, but look how slow grind it is. So if we open this at 10:49, we actually hit the target at 1:15. So this is just too much for me. I don't know for you, but this is just too much for me. And look all the consolidation on the indices. Look at the all this consolidation on the indices, all this. And then after watching these super weird candles, can you see that nothing happened? Nothing happened on these tech names. None of the ones that we actually have watched now. Chen, can you see whether Amazon has an order block based on 946? 946. It's this one. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's you could say this is an order block, and you have good reaction here. Like this is the break and retest of the. Well, I don't know here. Yeah, well, maybe here. Yeah, you're right, Chen. If if you enter like here, what was happening on the indices, they were kind of respecting this order block here. They were holding nicely above this order block. So maybe, yeah, I mean, maybe if you took like, let's say a trade here and your risk was at the bottom of this and you were aiming to a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, let's say 206, well, 206 no, 206.30, yeah. So here it's a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade. The one problem with this, is that you are buying very close to high of the day. You are buying very close to high of the day. So if you say, okay, well, this is my target here, it can you see the risk reward ratio is not worthy, and so you will need to say like something like, okay, well, let's go to the previous day high, and not even now we had that target yet. So you should be aiming to a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, and I'm not sure if you were able like to trim your position even when you have several opportunities here. It's like this is in the middle of nothing, right? So this target here, it's in the middle of nothing. uh let's say 206.50. Well, 206.50, it's a 1 to 2.9, 1 to 2.5 risk reward ratio trade, maybe. But again, 206.50 is just in the middle of the nowhere. So I don't know, like, I don't know if I will take this trade. But yes, I mean, if you want to consider this an order block, as it is, not if you want to consider. I mean, this is an order block. It's just I don't like it too much because again, this is not even moving the price. It's just, like, it just made a stop here to swipe this liquidity here, and it just moved. It just kept moving. Can you see this? I mean, and it makes sense, this order block here, because it's 205. It's a round number, psych number, strike number. So this strike here makes sense. I'm sorry, this order block here makes sense. Um, and this is nice displacement. So yeah, I mean, this makes sense. It's just like the objective here. You will be needing to, like, to be ready to trim your position here. Is it a valid entry there? Yes, it is. It is 946. Well, not the entry on the 946, the entry on the retest of the, yeah, on this order block. Yes, I think it is, Chen. This was a nice, yeah, this was a nice eye to look at this. This was very good. All right. So, and the other one was again like this, trying to retest the previous order block here. And as you can see, it actually never kind of retested like perfectly. But what was happening on the indices were bouncing from the bottom of this consolidation here, this bull flag, bull flag. So once they were bouncing here on at the bottom of these order blocks, at the bottom of these bull flags, it was a nice entry here. All right, so let's go to the next one. This was the Nvidia trade that I missed. I missed this trade here. Let me. Rael took Nvidia 5 minute opening range 937. 937? Well, that's an immediate retest, Rael. That's super aggressive. Scale at 135.4. Wow. Super nice trade. Super nice trade. Yeah, the thing here is that, yeah, this was being pushed by the indices, right? This was being pushed by the indices, but I mean, this is an immediate retest. This is not something that we like, and also it's inside of the first 10 minutes, right? So yeah, I mean, this was aggressive. Good job there, but this is out of the our playbook here. So what I was looking here. So here I was looking at this order block here, and this retest of this 134.50 that has been a key level on the daily and the 15-minute chart and the 1 hour chart. So this is kind of a 84% rule. So because we didn't hold here with this reclaim here, I was liking this one here. The What was the problem here? The risk was like too much of the risk here, because I mean it already went down, right? It already went down, and we were aiming, or I will be aiming to this 135, 135.50. Well, if just to the previous day close, this is today's open. This was previous day close. This is a 1 to 2.2 risk reward ratio trade. That was a nice trade. But I mean, you could be aiming to 135.50. That's almost a 1 to 2.5. And it actually went to 135.70, almost 1 to 3 risk reward ratio trade. So this was the only trade that I like here, and it actually has a twin. Like a twin, like maybe something like this. I mean, even here, like if you took like this trade here, you had less of a risk. So if you were aiming to the bodies of the previous highs, this was a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio trade. So this was also a nice entry here. It's 10:50 in the morning, so probably it's late for me for my entry. But if you were holding this position here, maybe you took the same exit here. But this is I'm not gonna lie, guys. I mean, this movement here inside, you are stuck on a dollar range. I know it could be mentally demanding, mentally exhausting. So I don't say like, oh well, if you stay here, you should be usually manage to be all the way up to here. This is not actually a new high. This is actually rejecting this is a double top, right? So this is a double top here. So I'm not sure if I will stay there, but that's kind of, like the two different opportunities here on this, almost on the same entry level. So this was a nice, like 134.50. This was a nice reaction here after all this consolidation here, or even if you just draw this order block, you were holding again this order block here, so you had the very same entry than here, but this was a reclaim, and this is a second chance. This is a second chance. All right, anyone took Nvidia? Jeff took Nvidia 1004, 1004, 1004. Yeah, same entry here. That was a nice one. Mike 935 candle. Like this break and retest of the pre-market high, Mike. That's what you were looking at. Very aggressive on a Monday, 5 minutes in the market. Very aggressive, Mike. I mean, I hope you had like a strong higher time frame thesis. This is looking nice. This is looking nice, but I mean, this was super aggressive. Nice, it worked. And where did you start trimming your position, Mike? Let's see if you can share with us. Where did you trim your first position? Like maybe here. Did you have this 134.50 key level? 134.50 key level here. And what is this 135? Why I don't have two different lines here, but I do here? $135. All right. Well, this was a very nice move, Mike. Congrats. It's just super aggressive. Super aggressive. That's nice when you have a higher time frame thesis. But anyways, I mean, here with the news on the weekend, the downgrade of the American debt, Chinese things, you know, uh, again, this was super aggressive. Mike, after 10:15 on the trailers, 10:50. Oh my God, you took everything. You squeezed this lemon. You really squeezed this lemon. Nice, nice, nice. All right, let's go to the next one. Tesla. This is a trade I took. I took two different trades today. I took two losses today. That's I don't remember the last time I took two losses. I mean they were small size because Monday. But anyways, and I'm gonna show you what I was looking at here. Okay, so here, guys, I was looking at a few different things. So here, this was my this was the order block that I was watching here. Also, I had this 339.80 on Microsoft. Oh, sorry. On Tesla. Let's look at it. Let's look at it on the 15 minutes. I had, yes, I had these three. It was the, yeah, 339.80 from last Thursday. It has been working nicely. I had this key level as resistance, then turn support here. And as you can see, I was looking at this candle here, like, reacting very nicely to this level. And also later on Friday, it was actually respecting this level here. So I was kind of positive of having a nice reaction from here. And so we had this break, this placement and retest of this 339.80. Also, this was an order block here. And look what was happening here on the indices. I want to show you because I kind of need validation from you guys. So I don't start thinking I'm crazy. So this, I had this holding these candles holding nicely here, this order block, holding this 339 key level on the 15-minute chart. So I took my trade on 1033. 1033, as you can see on the indices, they were bouncing from that order block there. They were bouncing out from that order block there. So what I was expecting, well, indices to go to the other side of this range that they created, maybe had continuation to the upside as they did later in the day, but what happened to Tesla? Rejected pre-market high, and then I started watching at this pattern of lower highs. So I cut my position somewhere around here on the break of the 5 minute opening range. Um, Alex, I entered 10:15, 10:15, 10:15 here. Nice. Break and retest of this pre-market high, and you took your trims here on this previous daily low. That was a nice one. That was a nice one, Alex. Very good here. Yeah. And look at the indices. Yeah, they were actually breaking that, like bull flag there. They had this one, two, three, four, five green candles before going to the other side of this range. And you said 10:15, 10:15. You enter here. Yeah, this was a very nice trade, Alex. This was so, but you were ready to trim here, right? Like at your 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade. All right. Faisal, I took 1004. 1004 here. Well, this is also a nice break and retest of this 5 minute opening range. And well, you had a lot of room there. That's pretty nice. So I just have one problem with this. The problem with this is that you are very close to high of the day. So you are very close to high of the day. And if you were, I mean, even if you were aiming to this pre-market high, it was less than 1 to 1 risk reward rated. So you should be aiming to here. Look, previous day low to have a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, unless your risk was something like this. Now this makes more sense. And maybe you were looking here. It's 341. Well, previous day low, it's a 1 to 3.6. That's very nice. That's actually very nice. So Faisal, that if that was your risk, it makes a lot of sense. But look at this. I mean, if you were, like aiming, even if you had this very short risk and you were aiming to low of the day or pre-market high, it was not even 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade. So you have to have like a farther objective. And now I mean, now in hindsight, it's nice, right? Like it's pretty nice. You actually hit it. But this is something that don't like it too much because your position there was not worthy just for the main. Well, again, if you were aiming to this objective, that's nice. But as you can see, you only had like one chance to trim here, and then it went all the way down again. And now look at this. I mean, it's actually struggling with this previous day low. But that's actually a very good signal that it's almost inside previous day range. So after the weekend news and all that pretty crazy stuff, it's actually pretty nice that it's almost inside the range. All right, Chris, could your risk be the week of that 1 minute opening range on the Tesla 1004? I mean, it could be, but that would be like an extremely tight risk, right? Like, in my opinion, it will need to be like this here, or at least like the body of the candle that broke your level. And if you do this, I mean, that will be a more decent risk to take. But anyways, I mean, this just the 1 minute opening range. That's fine. That the good thing is that it actually worked. And with this break of this 1 minute and 5 minute opening range, you got this strong momentum. So again, something that I don't like too much is this red candle. It's actually, can you see no wicks at all to the downside? But the next one was reacting well. So I mean, it's a nice play here. It's just the displacement. It's very low here, but it's actually, well, it was not moving with the indices, right? Yeah, no, it was not moving with the indices. But right here, I mean, right here, the indices were holding those order blocks, and then they had this impulsive candle here, and it's actually this one. Yeah, it's actually this one. So this is the candle that actually pushed Tesla to the upside. So that was a nice one. That was a nice one. I entered probably, well, now after all of this review, I just entered late on the party. I really was thinking that this is gonna be like like going to continue here, but it never did. It never did. Um, More comments here. No. All right. So let's go to the next one. This was my second loss of the day. This is the first loss that I took today. Microsoft. It has been struggling with this 460 area for months or years. But I was actually thinking that maybe today was the day. So we had this strong opening here. This was actually stronger than the indices. This was actually showing more strength than the indices here. And I had this break, displacement, and retest of this 5 minute opening range. This was the 5 minute opening range. And what was happening with the indices? Well, they were actually, breaking this consolidation. So they were breaking out. They were breaking out. So I enter here at 10:02. I enter here 10:02. My risk was the bottom of these retesting candles here. And my first target was the high of the day. And this was a 1 to 3 reward ratio trade. And it tried, but here at 457.38, look how many rejections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rejections here at 457.38. And look what the indices were doing. They were pushing higher, pushing higher, pushing higher, and then with this drop, I said, no, I'm out. This was actually a higher risk than I wanted. This ended with a 16 negative, yeah, 1 6 negative, 16 negative. So I wasn't liking this, and then after, well, I mean, now I'm looking at this, and it's mooning, right? I mean, well, it's still not on the 460, but I mean, it looks like it wants it. But I will not be into all these consolidation here. It's Look at this. It's 1226 when finally broke this 457.38. So I just closed my position here. The indices were trying to hold this bull flag here, but Microsoft failed, so I just decided to cut my position. If I will stay longer, I mean, my risk will be like huge, right? Like, let's say like this, and I will need to go all the way to here to have a 1 to 2 reward ratio trade, but it was just too much for me. It was too much for me. So I just cut my position here, and that was all that I took today on Microsoft. Anyone took something on Microsoft today? Um, Chen, you took another. Oh well, you still talking about Tesla, right? Indices really strong today. Everything else had relative weakness. Yes, I took the same trade, and it was my biggest loss today. Which one, Joseph? This one on Microsoft here. Uh, is there any reason you didn't take the Microsoft trade 955? 955. Well, it's kind of the same thing. It's just I was waiting for more reaction here on this 5 minute opening range. But yes, I mean, it's kind of the same entry. Let me just take a look to my Weibo. I took 1002. Yeah, it's this candle here. This candle here. Yeah, it was like, being really shy on these reactions here. But yeah, this 955 was looking like it wanted to do something here. But look at all these consolidation here, and yeah, and the indices were flat in this. They were consolidating also. So until I saw this candle here doing something, and it was the same impulsive candle on the indices, I decided to take this trade. Why? Because my risk was here and my target was here, so this was a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio trade. So the only thing is that this thing didn't follow the indices, but in my opinion, I mean, this reaction here around this 5 minute opening range high, that's exactly what we all were waiting, right? Like this 955, it's exactly the same reaction on the same key level. It's just I took a different candle. The reason is just because the indices were consolidating right there, consolidating, and when they had this impulsive candle, I say, well, okay, well, this is gonna move. This is gonna move my trade here, but it didn't. It didn't. So that was my Microsoft trade today. I chased 744. What's that, like 1044? Sam, where are you? Like, you are in California, West Coast. 748. 748. Yeah, kind of the same thing, right? Kind of kind of the same thing. Highest candle 744, like this one. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This is Meta. This is a nice break and retest and holding of this 5 minute opening range. Uh, there's something that I want to show you on Meta, and it's this. This has been, let's do the 1 day. All right. This has been uh, an area of a lot of activity here, right? Like this is uh, uh, resistance, resistance, turn support, support, then resistance, resistance, break, and then it's support here. So this area here is this one. So just because I was looking at this area here, I said like, okay, well, this is gonna bounce. This is gonna bounce. This has been used as support, resistance. Now it's kind of the break and retest of this area here after the Friday reaction here. Look at this reaction here on Friday. So I was like, okay, well, this is going to the upside. So this was actually opening nicely, like the indices here. So it had this break and retest of the 1 minute opening range. But I don't like to trade between the first 10-15 minutes. So I didn't like this. So well, I waited for this. This is the 5 minute opening range. This is the first high of the day. So it's a break and retest of high of the day, 5 minute opening range. And as you can see, I was aiming to at least the edge of this area here. So my risk was the bottom of this candle retesting this area here, and my target was the edge of here, or maybe like the previous day close. And this was a 1-to-4 risk reward ratio trade. This was a 1-to-4 risk reward ratio trade. I don't like Meta because it's sometimes it's weird. Can you see? Oh, Mira, look at this. We do have these candles here, and they are not, look at this, they are not at the same time than in the indices. This is a nice funding. This is a nice funding because what does it mean? It means that the big whales, hedge funds, institutional traders are looking at Meta here. What's going on with Meta? Oh, this is it. Well, as I said, they were probably looking at this break and retest or this cup and handle. I don't like too much this thing of the like cup and handle and then go. I don't like too much this thing about patterns, but maybe this is what they are looking at, right? And can you see they went for this 5 minute opening range area here? So there's something there. 633. All right. So anyone took Meta today? Did you take Meta? No, I didn't. I didn't. I took two losses, Tesla and Microsoft. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next one. Palantir. I saw two different opportunities here on Palantir. So the first one, it's this break and retest of this 124.62. Let me show you what this 120, oh, sorry. This 124.62, sorry. What is it? It's the previous all-time highs. So this, it's now a multiple touch key level on the daily chart, right? So this retest of this 124.62 was a nice opportunity here. Why I wouldn't say like this first one? Because it was 9:35, so that was just too early on the day. But what about this second one? Well, this second one, it's looking nice because it breaks below. It takes just one candle to come above, And what was happening with the indices? They kept pushing. They kept pushing. So I like this one. So my risk will be the bottom of this retesting candle. And my first target will be high of the day or the 5 minute opening range, right? Like here. So this is a 1 to 2.2 risk reward ratio trade. But if you have, like the next key level will be maybe this previous day low or maybe this 127 key level here, 127 here. So this was a 1 to 4 risk reward ratio trade. I love it. I love it because this looks simple, right? Retest on a daily chart key level here. Nice reaction, indices pushing up. This is something that I like. Hey Neto, I missed that trade. What's going on? Is there any other chance? Well, you have this break and retest of the 1 minute and the 5 minute opening range. So after this retest on the 1 minute, I waited 1, 2, 3, and the next candle looking, for continuation to the high of the day here, risk at this daily chart key level. It was a 1 to 5 risk reward ratio trade. I mean, like here to this level, 1 to 5 risk reward ratio trade. It was a very, very tight risk, but even if you pull this, like, I don't know, like maybe even if you take it like here, this bottom of the candle that actually broke your level, and you were aiming to this 127 here, it was a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade. And you had all the way up to here, let's say here 127.50, it was a 1 to 3 something risk reward ratio trade. So this Palantir, people who is still trading options on Palantir, they are still squeezing it. I, for being honest, I don't like when markets are on all-time highs. It's very difficult for me. When I remember last year, we had a lot of names on all-time highs, and it was a challenge for me because I don't know what to aim to the upside. Like, okay, well, let's do round numbers. So sometimes I was aiming, I don't know, like, okay, well, let's aim to 130. And it was kind of a discrete goal or, a conservative goal. And then, boom, it hit 132. Okay, well, okay. So it's moving 3 points a day. Okay. So tomorrow I'm going to aim 137 and it just moved 1 point. So it was kind of frustrating for me when it was in all-time highs. So that's why I don't trade Palantir. But here it actually had good opportunities today. Very clear break and retest on key levels here. So not sure if you agree with me, but these are like really nice trades here. Even if you didn't take this risk, and look at this. I mean, if you were actually just at the bottom of this retesting candles, and after three green candles here, that I mean, that will be fair. That will be fair. Then this trade all the way to here, it was a 1 to 5 risk reward ratio trade. So this is a nice opportunity here. And what was happening on the indices? Well, indices were consolidating and ripping, right? So actually, look at this. I mean, this 1001 candle, when I open this position here, it's the actual impulsive move here on the indices. And well, the last one for today, guys, is gonna be this Google. So Google had this break and retest of this 161 key level. This 161, I'm sorry, 165 key level. As you can see here, it's a support turn resistance, now turn support again. And if you go back to this, I mean, 165 has been a very strong and important key level on for Google for several months. Yeah, for several months. So well, this was super early in the day. This was super early in the day, but I mean, if you are looking for opportunities here after looking at the indices with these strong movements here and this holding relevant key levels like this one, and Google actually was above pre-market high. So this was a nice indication for a move to the upside. So, well, again, it's not on my playbook because it was too early in the morning, but you still can have good entries here. All right, guys. So that's all for me. Please leave me on the comments, not on the chat, but on the comments, if you like this new schedule, if you like how we are performing these reviews, and if you have any suggestion to improve this space that it's made for you, just let me know on the comments of the video, not on the chat, but in the comments. So thank you very much, guys. See you later. If you are on Traders Lab, I'll see you in around like 2 hours. If you are on the Discord community, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.